Keep weeds out of the home garden. Weeding is necessary and not just to make the garden look nice. Weeds are extra plants growing in the garden that crowd out the plants that you do want. They use up nutrients and water that the crop could be using. By removing the weeds, you remove the competition and the vegetables have better growing space, and you will have better luck with growing things like beets. They will have room to grow, and you'll see a nice weeded garden in Woboden in the picture on the right. It's best to start the growing season off with the least amount of weeds as possible, like this garden here in Moose Lake. No weeds before planting will make it easier to keep the garden site weed-free over the summer. This might involve working the garden with a rototiller, a garden fork, a hoe, or other garden tools. Preparing the garden in the fall for spring planting makes this process go much quicker. It's important to weed your garden regularly and keep the weeds under control. The best time to weed is right after a rain when the ground is soft, as this makes it easier to pull the entire plant up, roots and all. It's easier to pull weeds when they are young plants, and it is important to pull the weeds before they produce seeds. These seeds fall back into the ground and sprout into new weeds. If you weed the garden regularly, the plants will grow faster as they will have less competition for water and nutrients. In this picture here, there are some lettuce plants on the right-hand side of the screen. There's some pansies, orange pansies on the left side of the screen, and there's a whole bunch of chickweed and grass and weeds in between. It is going to be really difficult for that lettuce to grow based on the competition it has from the weeds. If you are able to keep ahead of weed growth, it will result in fewer weeds through the summer and even fewer weeds the following season. Plan to keep your garden to a manageable size. If you are not able to weed and water a large garden, consider a small size garden or even planting in a container, such as this person has done. They have planted some cucumbers in a bathtub that they had. It's important to be realistic about the amount of time you have available for maintaining a garden. To help you know if it is a weed or is that a vegetable in your garden, you can use row markers at the end of every row in the garden, such as in these gardens here in the pictures. You can write the name of what you planted right on a stick with a permanent marker, or you can even place the empty seed packet on the row marker, or like the packet that is placed here, showing what kind of tomato that is that's planted there. If you are unsure whether it is a weed or a vegetable in your garden, you can also wait until you see a clear straight line of little seedlings that are a specific distance apart, as in the picture on the top right. Weeds do not grow in a straight line, nor do they grow specific distances apart. So these are probably the vegetables that you planted. Once you've been growing a garden for a while, you will gain experience and will recognize plants versus weeds in the garden. If you are still unsure what the vegetable seedlings look like, you can refer to the resource Vegetable Plant Pics. This booklet has pictures of common vegetables as seedlings, mature plants, as well as planting distance and depth, the number of days to emergence, that's when you will see the plants growing out of the soil, the number of days from seeding until harvest, which means how soon you can pick and eat your vegetables, as well as the approximate yields. And the location of where you can access this resource is on the following page. That resource, as well as a number of other resources specific to gardening in northern Manitoba, are available on the Manitoba government website, and they're housed under the Indigenous and Northern Relations page. Or you can Google Northern Healthy Foods Initiative, and you will see all of these resources will come up under the Manitoba government website.